Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. Today I have 5 more disgusting Halloween foods that will freak your party guest out. Get ready, we're gonna DIY instead of buy. For our first DIY, we're gonna make some filthy, nasty Q-tips. You're gonna need some Q-tips, some Kraft caramel bits, and some mini marshmallows. Go ahead and get your marshmallows out on a plate so you can get to them easy. And we're gonna cut the tips off of the Q-tips. I found that it was easier to use a nail tip cutter to do this rather than using scissors. The tips of the Q-tips would fly off everywhere. So now that we have everything cut, we're gonna start putting marshmallows on each end of the Q-tip, just like that. At this point, I thought they looked like barbells, so I'm showing you how. I like the one here on the left better because I tapered the end touching the stick down a little bit so it had more of that Q-tip shape to it. So just pinch the end by the stick to make it form to it better. We're gonna start melting the caramel. I suggest using some Pam in your bowl to make cleanup easier. And I microwaved this in 30-second intervals, stirring it along the way. Once everything is all smooth, we're gonna take our Q-tips and we're gonna dip it very lightly on each end. Doesn't that look so gross? Next time I make these, I would just pull the cotton buds off of the ends of these rather than cut them, so I would end up with a longer stick. And hang around until the end of the video so you can see how I stage this to serve to my guest. And doesn't that earwax look delicious? DIY number 2 are cigarettes. You're going to start out with some stick pretzels and some melted white chocolate. You're going to dip about 2/3 of your pretzel into the white chocolate. You just want a nice thin layer of the white chocolate on there and set them on some wax paper to dry. These are very easy to make, but they take time to dry. You're going to need some pure cane sugar and some red and black gel icing and a Ziploc baggie. Put a few spoonfuls of the sugar into the Ziploc baggie. Oops, I forgot you need food coloring too, in red, yellow, and blue. Now, if you mix even parts of the red, yellow, and blue food coloring, you'll get a really nice black color. So go ahead and mix that up. Just checking here to see if we got the shade we want, and we do. So we're going to start pouring little bit at a time into the Ziploc baggie and shaking it up so we can dye our sugar. Once you get a dark enough color, you're going to dry it out by putting it on a paper plate with a paper towel over it and smushing the sugar between 2 paper towels. I had to repeat the process a couple times. By now the white chocolate has dried, so we're going to take the white end of the cigarette and we're going to dip it into the red gel icing, just the very tip of it, and we'll sit those on wax paper to dry. For the final step, you're going to dip the red tip of the cigarette into some black gel icing. Make sure you can still see the red, and then you're going to tap that into the sugar ashes. I just got those by taking plain white sugar and our black sugar mix and mixing them together. For our third DIY, we're going to make some bloody raw meatballs. You're going to need some marshmallows, some butter, some food coloring in red, vanilla extract, and some Rice Krispie cereal. Now here's a shot of the recipe we're going to use on the back of the box. Pause if you need to. We're going to put our marshmallows and our butter in our bowl, and we're going to start microwaving it until we get a nice smooth mixture. Then I'm going to add my vanilla and my red food coloring and get it all stirred in there. And if you need to tweak your red color to make it look more like blood, you could add some darker gel icing into it. Stir it all up good, and then we add in our Rice Krispie cereal. Mix it, mix it, mix it. And ideally, you should have a color and a texture that looks like ground beef. Make sure you're working smarter and not harder. Spray some cooking oil on your hands, rub them together, and then start picking up your Rice Krispies to form into your meatballs. Just pick up a nice sized chunk of it and roll it around until it's in a nice round ball and sit it on your wax paper and move on to the next one. These are very simple and easy, but they are so delicious. Stick around to the end to see how I served it. DIY number 4 are spider eggs, and this has got to be the easiest one in this video. Get a bowl of your choosing, and you're going to need some powdered sugar donut holes and some spider rings. All you do is take your donut holes and fill up that bowl into a nice big mound. Now, I got 2 sizes of donut holes, and I started with the larger ones on the bottom and worked my way up to the smaller donut holes. Then I just took the spider rings, and I preferred to just use the black one so it looked somewhat more realistic, and tuck them around into the donut holes. It doesn't get any easier than that to have a great effect on your table. Now let's move on to DIY number 5, and that's a witch's brew. You're going to start out with a latex glove, and you're going to fill it up with water and tie it off on the end. So now it looks like we have a hand in there. We're going to stick that into the freezer after we dry it off and leave it overnight to freeze up. That's going to be the ice for your punch. So maybe you want to make a few of those. So now we have our punch bowl, our ladle, our Hawaiian punch, and some Faygo. You're going to fill your punch bowl up halfway with the Faygo, which is the lemon lime flavor, like a Sprite. And then you're going to fill it the rest of the way with some red fruit punch. Stir it all in there, mix it up good, and then we need to take the latex glove off of our hand. So cut that on off, pull the glove off, and carefully slide that hand into the punch bowl. And you just made a tasty drink in less than a minute. Let's see what everything looks like put together. Thanks so much for choosing to spend your time with me today. If you enjoyed this content, please subscribe to my channel and ring the notification bell. I have a lot of ideas floating around in my head that I can't wait to share with you guys. If you're looking for more gross foods to freak your family out, you might want to check out my first gross foods video. I'll put a link to it at the end of this video. Thanks again for watching, you guys. I hope you have a happy and safe Halloween, and I'll see you in the next one.